In this video, I am going to share some amazing strategies to keep the learning process flowing effortlessly. If you want to become master in learning, never run out of trial or error method. Stick around and let's get started to be spontaneous. You try anything and everything that comes to your mind without overthinking. I'm perceiving you to be perfect and am there to teach you, and be sure to watch this video right till the end so that you will be benefited. And today's topic is test of hypothesis. This is the fourth method, that is test of significance of difference proportions. So already have taught you from example 1 to 8, and in today's video I'm going to solve from example 9. See here, in a random sample of 1000 persons from town A, 400 are found to be the consumers of wheat, and in the sample of 800 from town B, 400 are found to be the consumers of wheat. Next one, so what is it? It is asked, do these data reveal a significant difference between the town A and town B so far as the proportion of the wheat consumers is concerned? So here, this is the data given. So these are all the numerals from town A, that is among the 1000 persons, 400 consume wheat, and from town B, among 800, 400 consume wheat. So here it is very clear to understand that. So N1, the sample size of town A is 1000, and N2, the sample size here is from town B, 800 is the sample size. And X1, the number of consumers of wheat from town A is 400, from town B, see here 400 are found to be the wheat consumers. So this is the data given. So this is so clear that N1 is equal to 1000 and N2 is equal to 800. And next one, x1 is equal to, this is 400 wheat eaters, and x2 from town B, 400 are the wheat eaters. And now we have to calculate, and see here, n1000, n2 800, x1 400 wheat consumers, and x2 is also 400. And now we have to calculate the P1. So as you know that P1 value is equal to, this is x1 by n1. That is, what is x1 here? 400 by 1000. The value here is 0.4. And next one is P2. So P2 is equal to, the value here is x2 by n2. That is 400 by 800. The value here is 0.5. So we got P1 value is equal to 0.4. And next one, P2 value is equal to, this is 0.5. And here is small p value. Small p value is nothing but n1 p1 plus n2 p2 by n1 plus n2. So this is a formula for p is, see here, n1 p1 plus this is n2 p2 by this value is n1 plus n2. So this is the original formula. Instead of n1 p1 I am writing x1. Instead of n2 p2 I am writing x2. So here is the another formula, p is equal to, so this is the another formula which you have to remember, that is x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. What is x1 here? X1 is equal to, this is 400, and x2 here is 400, 400 by 400 by n1 plus n2, that is 1000 plus 800. The value here is 4 by 9. So this value is 4 by 9. So p value, it is very clear as 4 by 9. And this value is equal to 4 by 9, and therefore q is equal to 1 minus 4 by 9. So q is equal to 1 minus 4 by 9. So this value is equal to 5 by 9. As we got n1 as, see here, n1 as 1000 and n2 value is equal to, this value is equal to 800. So p1, p2, small p, small q, every value is ready here. And therefore we have to go with the 5 steps. The first one is the null hypothesis. P1 equal to p2. There is no difference. So alternate hypothesis, P1 not equal to P2, there is a difference. Level of significance, at 5% level of significance. Test statistics, here is the formula that Z is equal to small p1 minus p2 by root over pq into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. So this is the formula to be remembered. So first, test statistics. All the values are very clear here. What is P1? 0.4. What is P2? 0.5 by root over PQ. 4 by 9 into 5 by 9 into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. That is 1 by 1000 plus 1 by 800. The value here is so clear as minus 4.242. So if you take modulus, the value here is 0.2424. At 5% level of significance, Z alpha by 2 is equal to 1.96. So this is the calculated value and this is the tabular value, and clearly calculated value, that is 4.2424, is greater than 1.96, and therefore we reject the null hypothesis H naught at 5% level of significance. So, after rejection, what is the conclusion? Therefore, there is a significant difference between town A and town B. The proportion of the wheat consumers is concerned, as the proportion of wheat consumers is concerned. So this is how we have to solve. We have to take N1, we have to take X1, we have to take N2, X2, and P1 is equal to X1 by N1. So P1 formula is X1 by N1 and P2 formula is X2 by N2. After getting P1, P2, so here P, small p is equal to x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. After getting P, so 1 minus P is nothing but Q. So after getting n1, n2, P1, P2, PQ, so we have to substitute in this formula, and this formula is so important. So after calculating the formula, so at 5% level of significance, the tabular value is equal to 1.96, which is strictly greater than, calculated value is greater than the tabular value. Therefore, we reject the null hypothesis H naught at 5% level of significance, and therefore there is a significant difference between town A and town B as a proportion of the wheat consumers is concerned. And the next question here, the 10th question here is, see, in a sample of, so here in a sample of how many students? 600 students of a certain college, 400 are found to use a ball pens. In another college, a sample of 900 students, 450 are found to use the ball pens. So here we have to test whether the two colleges are significantly different with respect to the habit of using the ball pens. So here this is the population given. So this is a sample size 1 and this is x1. So this is a sample size and this is x2, as it is very clear. So here let P1 and P2 be the population proportion of the students who use the ball pens in the two colleges. As usual, the null hypothesis P1 equal to P2, alternate hypothesis P1 not equal to P2. And what is x1 and what is x2? So here x1 value, so x1, the number of persons who use ball pen is 400. N1, the total sample from group 1 is a 600. What is x2? The number of students who use ball pen from another college, that is 450, and the total students from the another college is 900. So this is the data given. See here, x1, x2, n1 and n2. So this is college, number of students in one college and number of students in the another college. The number of usage of the ball pens in the first college is 400, in another college is 450. So P1 value. So as you know that P1 formula is nothing but x1 by n1, and next one P2 formula is nothing but x2 by n2. So what is x1? This is 400 by 600. The value here is 2 by 3. So P1 value is equal to, this is 2 by 3. And the next one here is P2 value is equal to x2 by n2. That is 450 by 900. The value here is equal to half. As you know that small p value is equal to n1 p1 plus n2 p2 by n1 plus n2. Clear? So n1 p1 is nothing but x1 and n2 p2 is nothing but x2. x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. This is what is x1? This is 400. x2 is equal to 450 by 600 plus 900. The value is here is, that is small p value is equal to 0.57 and small q value is ready as 1 minus. So this is 1 minus 0.57, this is 0.43. As it is very clear, n1 is equal to 600. The number of students in college, first college 600 and another college is 900. So this is the data given. So P1, small p2, PQ and N1 and N2. So from this it is very clear the test statistics here, the formula is Z is equal to, this is P1 minus P2 by root over PQ into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2. What is P1 here? So P1 is equal to 2 by 3. So this value is 2 by 3 minus P2 is equal to half, that is half by root over PQ, that is 0.57 into 0.43 into 1 by N1, 1 by 600 by 1 by 900. The value here is 6.48. So at 5% level of significance, it is The tabular value is equal to 1.96. On comparing, so this is the calculated value and this is the tabular value, and therefore calculated value is greater than the tabular value. Therefore, hence we reject the null hypothesis at 5% level. And what is the conclusion part here? So the last conclusion here is there is a significant difference between the two colleges as far as using of the ball pens habit is concerned. So this is how we have to take the 5 steps. First one is null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, test statistics, level of significance, and the conclusion part. And here the 11th question here is 100 articles from a factory are examined and 10 are found to be defective. So 500 similar articles from the second factory are found to be 15 defective. See here, among 100, 10 are defective, and among 500, 15 are defective. Clear? And now we have to test the significance. So now we have to test the significance between the difference of the two proportions at 5% level. So as it is very clear, N1 is given as 100 and these are the defected items, and N2 is the next sample size and 15. These are the defective items. And let's get into the formula and let's get into the solution here. Let P1 and P2 be the proportions of the defective articles in the population of articles manufactured by the two factories. And first we have to take the null hypothesis. As usual, null hypothesis P1 equal to P2 and alternate hypothesis P1 not equal to P2. And here what all are given here? N1 is given as, so N1 is given as 100. From the question, N1 is given as 100, N2 is given as 500 and P1. So as you know that P1 value is equal to X1 by N1. What is X1 here? That is 10 by 100. So P1 is equal to 10 by 100. This is 0.1. And next P2. So the P2 value is equal to X2 by N2. So what is P2? What is X2? 15 by 500. So this value by 15 by 500, the value here of P1 is equal to 0.1. P1 is equal to 0.1 and P2 value is equal to 0.03. So here we got, so P1 value and P2 value as 0.03 and 0.1. Clear? And now we need the value of a small p. Small p, the value here is N1 P1 plus N2 P2 by N1 plus N2. So what is N1 and what is N2? N1 is equal to 100 and N2 is equal to, see here, N1 value is equal to, N1 here is 100. N1 is equal to 100 and N2 value is equal to, this value is equal to 500. So here P is equal to N1, 100 into P1. What is P1? 0.1 plus N2, 500 into P2, that is 0.03 by N1 plus N2, that is 100 plus 500. The value here is 0.042. So small p value is equal to 0.042 and Q value is equal to 1 minus, this is 0.042, this is 0.958. So these are all the values P1, P2, N1, N2, Q, P. And this is, so here the formula, the standard deviation Z is equal to, this is P1 minus P2 by root over, this is PQ into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2 according to our test statistics, the formula. What is P1 here? So P1 value is clear as 0.1, P2 value is 0.03. So they solved root over PQ into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2. What is PQ? PQ is equal to 0.042 into 0.958 into 1 by N1. 1 by 100 plus 1 by 500. The value, the denominator value is 0.022. And here we have to, and see here Z is equal to P1 minus P2 by root over PQ into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2. P1 is equal to 0.1 and P2 is equal to 0.02 by the denominator value just now we found, that is 0.022, and therefore we got 3.18. So here at 5% level of significance, Z alpha by 2 value is equal to 1.96. And here the calculated value is 3.18, which is greater than 1.96. And therefore we reject the null hypothesis at 5% level of significance. And here is the conclusion that, what is the conclusion part? There is a significance difference between the two proportions. And the next question here is 12th question. A machine produced 20 defective articles in a batch of 400 and after overhauling it is produced the 10 defectives in the batch of 300. So here what is it we have to solve? Has the machine been improved over after overhauling? So here it is very easy. This value is defective value is x1, and here this value, the sample size is n1. 10 defective, so this is x2, and this value is equal to n2. Very clear. This is very clear from the question, and therefore in the solution, let P1 and P2 are the sample proportions of an imperfect items put out by the machine before and after the overhauling, that is P1 and P2, be the corresponding population proportions. So here N1 is given as, so here N1 is given as this value is 400 and N2, so N2 300. So N2 is equal to, this is 300, and X1 is equal to defective items from the batch 120 and next one batch 2. Here this is 10 defective items. So this is the data given. So as you know that P1 is equal to, here the formula here is x1 by n1, and P2 value is equal to, the P2 value is equal to x2 by n2. So it is very clear that x1 by n1, the value here will be, what is P1? This is 20 by 200. This is 20 by 200, 1 by 20. The value here, P1 value is equal to 1 by 20, and P2 value is equal to, what is P2? X2 by, so X2 by N2, that is 10 by 300. The value here is 1 by 30. So N1 value, so N1 is equal to 400. So what is N1? So this is 400 from the question, and N2 value is equal to the 300 from the question. See, clear. And now we have to calculate small p value. So this is the formula, that n1 p1 plus n2 p2 by n1 plus n2. So instead of n1 p1 I am writing x1, instead of n2 p2 I am writing x2. So x1 plus x2 by n1 plus n2. What is x1? X1 is, this is 20 plus 10 by 30 by n1 plus n2, that is 400 plus 300, 700. The value here is 3 by 70. So here small p value is equal to, this is 3 by 70, and small q value is equal to 1 minus 3 by 70, that is 67 by 70. So all the values are ready here. Now we have to go with null hypothesis, that is P1 equal to P2. Alternate hypothesis, P1 greater than P2, or it heads to a one-tailed test. Level of significance, 5% level of significance test as statistics. So this is the formula, that is P1 minus P2 by root over PQ into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2. P1 is ready. P1 is equal to 1 by 20. P2 is equal to minus 1 by 30 by root over PQ, that is 3 by 70 into 67 by 70 into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2. 1 by 400 plus 1 by 300. The value here is 1.0844. So here the critical value at 5% level of significance, this is 1.645. So this value is clearly less than, so here the calculated value is less than the tabular value, and therefore the null hypothesis is accepted and there is no significant difference. Hence the conclusion is that, hence the machine has not improved after overhauling. So this is how we have to solve all the 5 steps. The first one is alternate hypothesis, null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, level of significance, test statistics, critical values, and decisions. So these are all the steps which you have to take for each and every problem. All the numerals should be underlined. So N1, N2, X1, X2, and P1, P2, PQ, everything should be calculated using the given data, and therefore you can get a conclusion. So after comparing with the calculated value as well as the tabular value. So this is how we have to solve. So many problems are already uploaded in the playlist. Till 12th example have shown you how to solve, and there are just few problems to be uploaded, and in my upcoming video definitely I'll post that one. Definitely please solve all these problems, and clearly you can get more score, and pass it on to as many friends as you can. That is the greatest help needed to this channel, and thank you for staying till the end.